Recently, the final trailer for Series 13 was released, and it was jam-packed with content. It had returning monsters, new monsters, better looks at Yaz and Dan as well as the Doctor, some outstanding visual effects, and of course, Ood. However, that barely scratches the surface, so I've decided to break down everything in the trailer. Before I delve into it, I will be mentioning information based on filming pictures, so if you don't want any major spoilers for the series, then please click away now. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the brand new trailer for Series 13. The trailer starts with the Doctor, as it should, brandishing her sonic screwdriver. To me, it kinda looks like she's sending out either a signal or a distress call. Either that or it's a Sonic Ex Machina situation, but hopefully not. It looks to me maybe like it's the same location as the Crimean War as well, so maybe she's trying to get the attention of the Sontarans. Up next, we have a shot of a woman saying, "It's happening again." I have got no clue who she is, but she looks strangely familiar. Looking at the background and the night setting, I take a guess that this is probably related to the Weeping Angel part of the series, but it could, it could be any part of the series for all we know. We're now introduced to who I presume is Mary Seacole, played by Sarah Powell, who has been heavily rumoured to appear in the series. She says, "Who are you?" which leads to the exchange in the next shot of the Doctor saying, "I'm the Doctor, this is Yaz, and this is Dan." This shot was in the first trailer, so it's nothing too new. The setting looks like the Crimean War, which is also supported by the filming pictures of the three of them in a similar location with Crimean soldiers just last year. We see a shot of Yaz in period clothing, who was also seen on location in this costume with Kevin Mcnally, who was looking at Weeping Angels later in the trailer, so that kind of confirms that this is to do with the Weeping Angels. And of course we have Dan, who is seen in a cage. This shot was in the first ever teaser for Series 13, which introduced Dan. A recent image from episode 1 was released which shows Carvanista, which is the guy that looks like Chewbacca, sitting next to a cage with Dan in it. Maybe this is how he's introduced to the Doctor and Yaz, who knows. We'll see a bit more of Carvanista later on in the trailer. One of my favourite shots from the trailer is this, and it really shows how far the visual effects has come in Doctor Who. There seems to be a row of Sontaran ships in some sort of dockyard. It kind of reminds me of one of the planets from Mandalorian Season 2. It's great to see that the design for the Sontaran ships has remained the same, akin to the Jadoon ships in Fugitive of the Jadoon. This shot is probably one of the most confusing shots in the trailer. It looks as if someone is being dusted Avengers style, but the facial features look a bit like the crystal face creatures from later on in the trailer, which I'm assuming are the Ravagers. Once again though, the visual effects is top notch and it looks properly creepy. Here we see Jodie in the TARDIS looking quite panicked, saying, "Why don't I know about this, and who else does?" I'm assuming that this could be to do with the cataclysmic event that Chibnall has described, possibly the Swarm, the Flux, or the Ravagers, but who knows. Now, I've really missed shots of the TARDIS flying in space. We got a few in the Time Vortex and one flying to Gallifrey in previous series with Jodie, but we haven't seen it properly in flight to the best of my knowledge, so this is a welcome addition. As to where it's flying over, it could be a planet or a spaceship, but it's too blurry to make out. The next two shots are of some guest stars in the series, the first of which being Craig Parkinson, who's probably most well known for Line of Duty. He's in period clothing, so this could be to do with the Weeping Angels story. This is followed by a shot of Annabelle Scully, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. No clue who she's playing, but she seems quite important. We end this segment of the trailer on what many have dubbed as Chewbacca. This is in fact a character called Carvanista, who seems quite important to the series, based on the synopsis for the first episode. He's basically just a big fluffy dog, and I am totally here for that. Another guest star, this being Robert Baffirst. He's appeared in quite a lot of things, but I know him most for his appearance in Toast of London. He's wearing what looks to be a general uniform, so this could be from the Crimean War setting. His character just says, "very odd," which basically just describes the whole show, so nothing too important here. And now for the meaty stuff. Well, potatoey stuff in this case. We get our first proper look at the new Sontarans, well, apart from the leaked photo of the Sontarans from late last year. I love the new design, it really harks back to the classic design, especially the armour. I'm interested to see how expressive the Sontarans can be facial wise, as the prosthetics do look quite restrictive, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, and it's riding a horse, which is pretty cool. Just a quick thing, whilst editing I noticed that there was another Sontaran on the right of the horse. Maybe that's just a normal soldier, and the one on the horse is a leader or a general. One of my favourite bits of the trailer was when this fella popped up. Yes, the Ood. The Ood are one of my favourite aliens from the show, so when they popped up, I kinda screamed. I'm guessing they won't be a major part of this series and we'll just have a cameo similar to that of the bar scene from the beginning of The Magician's Apprentice. Even if that is the case, I'm so happy to see them back, even if their eyes do look a bit... Ood. Yes, I'm allowed that one. Yaz and the Doctor are hanging upside down in what looks like a swamp. Jodie says, "I can't help feeling some of this is my fault." This location is seen a lot in the trailer and looks to be quite an action-packed scene. My guess is that this is a fun adventure at the beginning of the first episode to introduce us to the Doctor and Yaz again. We can see some flying robots or drones in the background. These could be the swarm that Chibnall mentioned, but according to the cast list for episode 1, the swarm is being played by a person, so I'm not sure what these could be. Whatever it is though, it looks like a lot of fun. This is followed by the Doctor, Yaz and Dan, who are running down a corridor which has been seen in a lot of promotional images. They're being fired at by something, and judging by Jodie's face and her line, "Run for your life," it's obviously something quite dangerous. We cut to a quick shot of Blake Harrison, who's probably most well known for playing Neil in The Inbetweeners, and Fadia Graham, who are both running away from something, but I'm not sure what that something is. Next up is Yaz and Dan, who are standing in a field. I don't think this is the same field as the one from the Crimean War, as Yaz is wearing a different outfit. Dan says, "Maybe we should have broke that to you a little bit more gently," and I must admit, I did need subtitles on for that. It's interesting to note that we see a shot from the same scene at the very end of the trailer, where Dan is holding Yaz back from something, so this scene could be very important. This is where the trailer really kicks off, and how better than to see a planet being covered by a big swarm. Some have theorised that this could be Earth, but I don't think it looks like it. Maybe what we're seeing could be the Flux, but whatever it is, this shot looks amazing. We now get our first shot of Vinder in this trailer, who seems to be in his ship, which was previously mentioned in the San Diego Comic-Con panel. He just says, "What's that?" so not really much we can take from that. We've got another shot of this green swamp looking place. This time it's the Doctor and Yaz falling, with one of those robots exploding above them. My guess is that they grab onto the flying pole that can be seen in the next shot. One thing to note is that the visual effects in these shots is top notch, so I'm quite excited to see this scene. These next two shots are what I believe are the Ravagers. This location could be seen in the first trailer, where the Doctor quickly turns around. It's a really great looking setting, which is probably a vision. The Ravager himself towers above the Doctor and has a really great design. I know a lot of people have said that this could be the Master, but there's literally nothing to suggest that. The Ravager says our final fight has begun. The stakes are obviously going to be very high in this series, or maybe this is referring to Jodie's last outing as the Doctor. The next two shots are of Vinder, who appears to be in an alien temple. These ghostly figures appear on plimps which sort of look like the Veil from Heaven Sent, but I doubt that's what they are. Something I noticed is that there's a floating diamond at the back of the shot. This same diamond can be seen in the next shot, which I believe also features another of the Ravager species. Whatever this diamond is, it must be important. Next up is a shot of Blake Harrison, who says "stay away from me" to Fadia Graham's character. As to why he's saying that or who these two people are, I haven't got a clue. We have a quick shot of what looks to be like a Crimean soldier or general telling the soldiers to charge, which then leads to what may be one of my favourite shots from the trailer and probably in Doctor Who. An army of Crimean soldiers and Sontarans both charging at each other. This shot just blew me away when I first saw it. The scale of it is incredible. Obviously the Sontarans are going to win this one as they've got lasers, but I'm so excited to see this scene. The next two shots are of more guest stars, the first being Fadia Graham's character again. I've got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this shot as she doesn't really mesh with the background that well. I don't know if the visual effects for this shot is unfinished, but it doesn't look too great. As for where she is, I'm presuming it's an alien planet. Personally, I think it could be Gallifrey in the past because of the red grass and orange sky, but it could be anywhere for all I know. The next guest star is Kevin Mcnally, who's probably most well known for playing Master Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. This shot is set in the past based on filming pictures of him with Yaz in period clothing. We can see Jodie in the background who looks very worried, along with Kevin Mcnally's character. My guess is that this links with the next shot, which is of the Weeping Angels. I am so happy that the Weeping Angels are back. These all look like the statue props that they tend to use rather than the people in costumes. I'm guessing that this was done due to COVID restrictions, but even then, they still look great. Maxine Alderton will be co-writing episode 4, so I really hope this shot is from that episode as she previously wrote The Haunting of Villa Diodati, which is a really dark and creepy story. This is followed by another shot, presumably from the same episode with Yaz in period clothing, saying, "There's no use being squeamish, we've got the future to save." Maybe she could be saying this to Dan, as the two of them apparently are quite competitive with each other in the series. This next shot came as a big shock to me. I really wasn't expecting the Cybermen to pop up in this series. I kind of expected them to be in one of the specials, so this got a bit of a scream from me. I love the design of these Cybermen, so I'm glad that they're back, especially as they don't look like they have those ugly lens flares on top of them. You can see debris around them, presumably from the door behind them that they've just smashed through. As for what part they play in the series, it could either be a brief cameo similar to the time of the Doctor, or they could be in league with the Ravagers. Up next is the Doctor running through a Crimean battlefield. You can see soldiers dead on the floor and remnants of a cannon in the background. I love this shot as you've got the yellow glow of the TARDIS in the back, with the Doctor running towards it in the fog. It's such a Doctor-y moment. We saw this shot in the first trailer with Dan falling down a chute. This is sort of the better version of the chute scene from Into the Dalek. Next up, Jodie says, "We don't have any more time. We can see the TARDIS right behind her. Not sure what this could be referring to, but my guess is that's either to do with the Flux, the Swarm, or the Ravagers. This is one of the most visually striking shots of the trailer. The Doctor is falling through what looks like the time vortex, but I think that it could be one of those gateways from Series 12, like the gateway that Ko Sharma showed the Doctor that led to Gallifrey, or the one that the Doctor fell through as a child. A minor detail that I found quite interesting was that Jodie has red braces in this shot, so that's a nice little costume variation. The second to last shot is of Dan holding Yaz back from something. My guess is that she's worried about the Doctor, which might be the case as there's a shot of Yaz crying in the first trailer, which matches this location and costume. And finally, the trailer ends with what looks like the Doctor, Mary Seacole, and a Crimean general looking at a group of Sontaran ships being blown up. A great shot to end the trailer, but hopefully this isn't how the Sontarans are defeated, as that's a tad spoilery. So that's my breakdown of the trailer for Series 13. This is probably up there as one of my favourite trailers from the Chibnall era, and I think that's really helped by the music choice and prominence of monsters, which has been severely lacking in previous trailers. If there's anything I missed, then please do let me know in the comment section below, and make sure to tell me what you're most excited to see in the new series. As always, thank you so much for watching. I should hopefully have some more Series 13 content on the way when the series airs, but till then I wish you all the best and hope you enjoy the new series.